Imagine scrolling through endless headlines about market crashes and bailout packages while politicians keep insisting there's no alternative. Mark Fisher walks us into a world where capitalism isn't just an economic system. It's the air we breathe, the water we swim in. But wait, what if that all-consuming certainty is just a trick? Let's crack open this reality and see why capitalism's grip feels unbreakable, yet shaky underneath. Let's start with that gut punch. It's easier to imagine the end of the world than capitalism. Why does this feel so damn true? Because capitalism isn't just money, it's a mindset locked into every corner of life. After the 2008 financial meltdown, banks didn't collapse in chaos as you might expect. Instead, governments bailaid them out, and the narrative spun tight. Capitalism remains the only realistic framework. Fisher points to this moment, especially in the UK and US, as proof that even crises feed capitalist realism rather than shatter it. Think of capitalist realism like a wallpaper you don't notice anymore, the backdrop on your computer, the hum of an air conditioner. It's always there, coloring your thoughts so deeply that questioning capitalism feels like asking if air is real. This mental wallpaper convinces you that alternatives aren't just unlikely, they're unthinkable. But here's the twist. Fisher argues this no-alternative stance is a kind of ideological trap. Like lucid dreaming, you can glimpse the edges of the system's dreamwork. The glitches, dystopias in movies, fleeting protests. The cracks suggest the system's realism isn't as solid as it claims. What happens when everyone shows up to protest, but nothing changes? That's the paradox Fisher unpacks. A mass moment that feels powerful but dissolves into silence, confirming the system's dominance rather than shaking it. Fisher recounts scenes from the early 2000s anti-globalization protests. Thousands flood the streets, but as massive as the turnout is, the capitalist machine keeps rolling. The protests fail to translate into lasting political change, illustrating a collective shout into an endless void. He coins reflexive impotence, a state where people know change is needed but feel paralyzed, caught in a feedback loop of hopelessness. Like being stuck watching a horror film unfold, fully aware but unable to intervene, this immobilization becomes a defining feature of capitalist realism. And here's the kicker. Instead of radical shifts, what emerges are liberal reforms that neuter dissent. Liberal communism, Fisher calls it. It's like putting a playground fence where the revolution should be, allowing people to feel heard but never actually disrupting capitalist logic. Beyond politics and protests lies the software running our experience itself. Capitalist realism shapes how we remember, dream, and even imagine the future. Let's decode this buried reality program. Fisher introduces market Stalinism, capturing how capitalism enforces brutal discipline through productivity demands, but ironically promotes anti-production, bureaucracies that block real change, yet uphold the illusion of efficiency. Think endless meetings about innovation with zero results, ensuring the system churns without threatening itself. He likens capitalist realism to a collective memory disorder, dreamwork where the brain stitches together events but erases contradictions, creating a seamless narrative that hides systemic flaws. It's the mind's way of maintaining psychic stability, but it blinds us to capitalism's inconsistencies and failures. The breakthrough? Fisher urges recognizing these glitches as cracks to pry open. It's not just a political fight, but a cultural and psychological shift. We have to dream new dreams and remember differently, unlocking alternatives that capitalist realism tries to delete from our collective imagination. Remember that scrolling through crisis headlines, the moment we started, what seemed all-encompassing was just a realness we'd been taught to accept. Capitalist realism is powerful because it's invisible, shaping how we think and feel about possibility itself. But those cracks, they're real. Try picking one, no matter how small, and imagine a world that isn't just capitalism by default. That daydream is your political act. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.